many locals do you think know about the Macclesfield werewolf?
I reckon if you ask any Macclesfield citizen, I reckon 99.9% of them would know the rumours about the werewolf. The fact that there's such a dominant rumour going around about a werewolf does scare me a little bit.
Go to any pub in Macclesfield, start asking about the werewolf, and someone will tell you something.
It's basically a UWA, unidentified walking object, right?
Yeah.
Beautiful moonlight night. All in a tent. The next minute is this shadow. This shadow just come over the tent with it. What the, like, now we're scared shitless.
Dead ahead is the small town of Macclesfield. So all my life I've lived in Macclesfield. I'm 22 now, so that's all I've really known is living in this small country town. There's the two pubs, there's the footy club. That's really it. We used to have a convenience store, but that recently just went out of business. It's just out the way, which is nice. It's like it's a proper country town, which is appealing because I'm not really a city type person with all people everywhere. I like to have my space. So I've always been intrigued by like urban myths, mythological creatures, monsters, that sort of thing. And growing up in Macclesfield, there was always the rumour of a werewolf running around. Everyone in the town knows it's a thing, but the thing is no one knows where the rumours kind of came from. So that's my goal in this documentary, is to actually find out a little bit more about the werewolf and to see if it's actually real. So there's really not a lot on the Macclesfield werewolf. The only video, there's a video by the Adelaide Hills magazine. Let's have a suss of that.
Here's the urban legends. Now this is where we took out all those Hills ghost stories and published them. This is the Macclesfield werewolf story. And Ross Bader, cartoonist, actually did the article, the illustration, and Max Anderson went and searched out the urban legend. Now I've lived in the Hills for a number of generations, and the thing is that I've always held on to these storytelling pieces about urban legends. So this one, growing up in Macclesfield for a number of years, the Macclesfield werewolf was a real thing.
Okay, I think we've got our lead. We are on our way to Michaela's place. Michaela is the publisher / creator of the Adelaide Hills magazine. That's where we're travelling to at the moment, and see what else we can find out. Here we go. Let's find out about this wolf.
Hello.
Hi Michaela, how are you? Nice to meet you. Can we come in?
Sure.
Nice to meet you, yeah.
Come on in.
Thank you.
My family, I think I was a teenager who was a bit of a rebel, snuck out a lot. I reckon it was kind of used as a bit of a story to keep me from venturing too far.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
When I was like 13 or 14.
Yeah.
So like, there's a werewolf up there. And I was like, what? There were some friends of mine who definitely believed they'd seen it.
Yeah?
Who had been up there looking for it.
Yeah?
Which definitely made me go, I don't want to go up there after they were grown, 20-year-old men who were quite macho, who ended up being quite frightened. So I sent my editor, I said, right, I want a story on the Macclesfield werewolf, and go to the pub and just start asking, because it's a real legend. Like, it won't take you long.
Yeah. Are you able to read some of it?
Of course.
As well?
You have to read the whole lot, otherwise
Yeah,
it won't make
go
sense.
for it. We really enjoyed your Facebook video, so
Okay.
that'd be great if you could read it out.
Okay.
The Mackie Werewolf by Max Anderson. Ex-Macclesfield resident Jason Burdett once told me how he and his mates had regularly been warned of the werewolf while growing up in the country town of 1500. We were just young blokes, maybe 15 or 16, Jason told me. The older fellas used to tell us to watch out for the werewolf. They said it would hang out in the gummy track at Mount Dennis. But I heard people had seen it around Crystal Lake Camp too, and a guy called Booger told us he'd seen it first. One bloke said he had his bike tyres bitten by it. Jason and his mates, Cole and Dave, would dare each other to go up Mount Dennis at night. There are some old abandoned piggeries up there and it's pretty spooky, but we started to figure the old blokes were telling us stories just to keep us off the streets. He said, then one day a guy called Robert Bentley came down, looked really freaked out. He reckoned he'd seen it and we thought he was pretty serious.
So I reckon this guy, Robert Bentley, is our next stop to find out a bit more. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
He's the one to check out.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, it was called the Mount Dennis Monster.
Okay.
Right? And we were told not to go up the hill, up to Davis' old piggery, because there was a monster up there and it used to eat the dead pigs. Right? But anyway, but as time went on, you know, we got older and then we started doing shooting, and one night we were out past Mount Dennis around the back.
Yep.
And me and Craig Gully was his name. He's still alive. We were spotlighting and shining around and bang, there's one fox, you know. And get a bit closer, get the gun out, yeah. Fucking, that's not a fox, man. Gully's going, shoot that, it's a fox. I said, no, it's not a fox. It's a freaking sheep, you know, but it was lower.
Yeah.
Nah, not a freaking sheep, not a cow.
So how big was it?
It was probably about, you know,
decent size.
Yeah, but it was brown.
Okay.
It was brown. It was freaking brown.
Yeah.
Right? So you could see the brown and we're thinking, well, what the hell? And there was no alpacas back then.
Yeah.
We didn't even know what an alpaca was. So one thing we've always been taught though, you never shoot anything that you don't know what it is. It could be anything. It could be someone's horse or but it was wrong. It was wrong. And then Gully's going, what is it? You know. And then it sort of like freaking just stands up.
Yeah.
And it was brown, right? And it could see it just stood up, but it could see like hair under here. Right?
Yeah.
It
Under the
just
armpits.
yeah.
So it's just a furry.
Its eyes are too close together to be. So its eyes are basically like a fox, but it was way too big and it was brown.
Was it making any noises or anything?
No.
It just looked at you?
No, it just looked at us.
Yeah.
And we're going, what the hell is it? And then it just sort of went, you know, stood up a bit. A little, and when it stood up, it was probably, you know, as tall as me, a bit bigger. Right? But it had its things that you could see. I just remember, even to this day, I'm working it out, it's 35 years ago. And I can still see exactly this bit under its arm, like jagged hair under here. So anyway, and then it sort of just went back down a bit and it snuck down there. Me and Gully said, we're getting out of here because we're on somebody else's property, shining a light, so you couldn't hang around too long. I'm a 1-on-1-2 person, so I don't unless I see it, I don't believe it, right? And so I've been trying to explain what this thing could have been, and that's why I come to the conclusion now it's a bear, because around the same time, like we used to have a big circus, like a circus tent would come to Mackie, set up on Davenport Square. Okay. Apparently, one year they come in and they set all up, and then wasn't much happening, and it just sat there for weeks, and then the rumour was that the circus went broke. And there was no circus, all the tent was up, all the animals were there was bugger all people there. And as far as I can remember, it went broke and they released some of the animals. And I'm not sure if you can find it, but I was told, I believe, that they found like a lion or not a lion, but like a cheetah thing or whatever it is, halfway to Meadows about 6 months.
Yeah, I think I
12
have
months
heard
after.
that something about that. Yeah.
I would think it should be in the papers or whatever it is, but they caught one of these circus animals on the wild out somewhere, and I was wondering whether maybe the bear, they let a bear go, and where's it going to go? It's going to go straight from Davy Square, straight up to Mount
Back.
Dennis.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's only walking. It's only going to travel 50 metres, and it's in the scrub, and it's up in the scrub.
We're currently going to the location where he saw it, so he's gonna show us around. Right there is where it was.
On the fence.
On the fence there.
On this side. Yeah. Anyway, so this is where the old piggery was. Here.
So this is where the werewolf apparently lived. This is up here, home base.
Yep. So he had like little shelters. Like, this is apparently like he had all these little dumpies to live in. See. And that was the room.
We haven't really got a conclusion, to be honest. We found out that the werewolf perhaps could have been a bear, but you never know. We didn't really solve the mystery. It could be an urban. Run! Everyone, go!